Welcome to Town Talk, the official podcast of Summerville, South Carolina, where we bring you the latest news and some of the most incredible guests that you can get here in Summerville. And today I am pumped to bring in Mr. Debney from the Summerville Family YMCA. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
It's been pretty awesome. Nice weather. The azaleas are
It is,
outside the window here. It's been great.
Yeah, we only get the azaleas for maybe 2 weeks, so definitely take advantage of getting out there and checking those out. But no, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast to talk a little bit more about the YMCA and then also just about you. But let's start there, okay? Can you share a little bit more about your journey leading you into your role as the CEO for the Summerville Family YMCA?
Sure. Came here about just now, my fourth year here at the YMCA, and actually came from elections. I did elections for a long time. Went to Charleston Southern, studied to be
Go
a
Bucks.
Yep. Studied to be a pastor. I was Bucky too.
Oh, really?
Cool. Studied to be a pastor there, but ended up doing politics. Ran elections from the state all the way down to Charleston County. Charleston County was my last place for 10 years, and then had the opportunity to come here back to my home and just get to jump right into the YMCA world.
Yeah, so you would say kind of your startup and starting in kind of government and politics. Is that really what led you into your public service career?
I would say going into being a pastor, that heart of just serving my community, especially wanting to see how Christ could be involved in that process. Going to Charleston Southern obviously was on that path. My mother worked for the Housing Authority of Florence. Several family members also worked in government, and they just did public service type roles. And just being able to see how they were able to serve our community was why I wanted to be able to do that here in Summerville.
I love that. And you talked about your time on the city's Board of Elections. What was that experience like? And then how did that help you grow within your role and where you're at today in your career?
Doing the elections, I'm actually still involved to a certain extent on the Dorchester County Board of Elections, but it's been an awesome experience. Going from just trying to raise awareness, having free and fair elections, being able to do all those things that just bring awareness to why our democracy is what it is, having the freedom for people of all different walks of life, being able to serve them at that local level has just been something near and dear to my heart.
I love that. And, speaking of, what led you up to your career, you are the CEO for the Summerville Family YMCA. What goes into that role? How long have you been in the role? Can you just tell us in the community a little bit more about that role in particularly and, what goes into it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting organization.
Yeah.
YMCA. It touches on a lot of different things, and the fact that it's been here in Summerville since the mid '70s is really awesome. One of the things, the YMCA was created, in England. Came over here. One of the first YMCAs created was here in Charleston. And
really? I did not know that.
Yeah, so we have this benefit of, and I have a letter in my office from the creator of the YMCA to the Charleston CEO at the time. And don't forget our mission. This is what we do. This is why we do it. It's a really cool letter that was found in the archives in Columbia.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And so, as a CEO, you're also the leader, right? People look to you in that leadership role for just guidance, help, and all that fun stuff that comes into a leadership role. Just for maybe some golden nuggets that our listeners can take away, in your opinion, what makes a good leader, and what does it take to be a leader for, let's just say, a YMCA?
I think doing things just like this, like looking someone in the eye, having to sit down with them, just hearing what they have to say.
Love that.
Being able to, specifically with my staff, the guy who took my spot in Charleston County, who's the director down there, he's actually in D.C. right now getting ready to testify in about 30 minutes on election security, all the different ways that Congress can provide more beneficial funding to elections. And he texted me just before he's getting ready to go on and said, "You allowed for this to happen. You gave me those opportunities when no one else would. You stepped out of the way and provided opportunity and empowerment to your staff. And he said that's one of the things that I just really always appreciated about you. And that's what I want to do here is get out of the way. My title is CEO, but to me, that doesn't mean anything. Like I want to step out of the way and empower my staff to do the good work that God has planned for them to do.
I love that. I love that. And speaking of that, the Summerville Family YMCA, y'all are busy. And the big thing that's coming up, the Flowertown Festival, we're weeks away at this point, right? Can you just share why this event is just so significant for our town here in Summerville, and I would say the region, to be honest with you?
Yeah, it's the 51st annual Flowertown Festival, which is pretty amazing. So the YMCA here started because of some strong women in this community who created the festival first and then created the YMCA. So the festival was a fundraiser for the YMCA to allow it to continue to do programs for kids and families in this area.
How cool.
And there's a really cool picture if you go and check Journal Scenes archives of Mayor Myers sweeping the streets in preparation. So he even got down and dirty and was sweeping the streets, getting ready for the festival.
I love that.
So it is a YMCA festival, but it's not just ours. We want to share it with the whole community, all of our business partners, all of our sponsors, all of our friends in the area. And you're right, it is a huge regional draw. We get accommodations tax dollars, and we want to bring those into Dorchester County, Berkeley, and Charleston counties, because we're all here in Summerville. I mean, if most of your listeners know, that's all within like a stone's throw of each other.
Yep.
The town encompasses 3 counties.
Yep.
And we want to be able to bring those tax dollars back into this community in order to enrich the lives of the people who live here.
Exactly. And, the festival does bring a ton of people to our community. There's a ton of different things that go on during the festival. And like you said, I mean, it is regional. Last year I've met people who traveled from states away to come to the Flowertown Festival. And so people love it. They love coming to Summerville, and it really is a team effort at the end of the day. And you could see the community does really come together. It's a beautiful thing to watch, really, from the outside looking in. Now, when it comes to the Flowertown Festival, what are for anyone who hasn't come to the festival, and I know it's very few, but there's people that probably just moved here who are excited to come for their first time. What are some things that you can kind of tease that you can kind of get from coming to the Flowertown?
So one of the things that we probably need to talk about is where you're going to park.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the parking's nuts.
Yeah.
Right. So just find a parking spot. Just try to find a parking spot. There are a bunch of places around town, and just enjoy being able to walk or bike to it. One of the things I think we started last year was having bike corrals at the festival, so you don't have to take your car, so you can just bike to the festival.
That's a great idea. Cool, right? That's a great idea. I like that.
So walking to it, biking to it, getting in to enjoy Azalea Park, the beauty of Summerville, those are some true highlights to it. But then beyond that, what we're trying to do this year specifically is have a few more business partners involved with it. And one thing I just learned this morning is the Atlanta Braves are going to bring to the tennis courts at Azalea Park this cool little feature where you can stand at home plate, use actual baseball bats used in Atlanta Braves games, helmets, and take your own baseball card picture that they'll print for you. And it's totally free, super cool.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you heard it here. The Atlanta Braves are coming to the Flowertown Festival. That is so cool. I know there's a ton of Atlanta Braves fans in the area. I'm telling you, a ton of people are going to be excited about that. I'll probably end up going. I'm not an Atlanta Braves fan, but I'll probably end up going for the experience. It's really cool. Parking and everything is also a struggle when it comes to hosting an event like this. But again, the community, what I found over the years, I've only been in this role a little over a year, but I've been coming to the festival since I moved here in 2016. But the one thing I've always seen is the community is so welcoming to the festival and welcoming, knowing that there's going to be more people in our town than usual. And there's a lot of patience within the community and people welcoming others to their home. And so it's a really fun to watch. And I'm excited. I really am for this year.
It's a cool kickoff to the summer season.
That's for sure. And one of these years, I hope the azaleas stay. Are blooming during the during the festival, but you can't control that, right? Speaking of the festival, where, in your opinion, do you see it going in the future? Right? What's kind of the future outlook of the festival?
I think just continuing to do what we're doing by expanding it and bringing more of our community into it. A lot of people come from the southeast, so it's a huge arts and crafts festival. That's kind of why it started, and it was, and I think it still is, one of the biggest arts and crafts festivals in the southeast. But more
Not
than that,
surprised.
yeah, we want to pull in our community partners with it and really patronize the business down here in downtown Summerville, get people out to really cool places. I mean, think about what we have within 3 miles, right? We have downtown Summerville, but then if you go 3 miles just to our west, you're in Oak Brook,
Yep.
and you have a town park,
Yep.
a state park,
Yep.
and a county park, all right there. And then our new Oak Brook Sports Complex is going to be a recreational park, all within that area. It really gives us this unique. Well, you're right on the Ashley River. Just this unique experience to have a downtown urban area coupled with this park and recreational area that'll be butted up by the new library. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a really cool experience and be able to push people not just to downtown Somerville, but to the surrounding areas.
Yeah, and I know the new sports complex that y'all are involved in is newer news. Do you want to dig into that a little bit and what the community could look into? Because I know it doesn't really involve the town specifically, but the community, the town, residents are going to be most of the people using it, right?
Yeah.
So, do you want to dig into that new project that y'all are working with?
Sure. Amy Evans and I work really close. We're friends, and we just enjoy being able to share some of the things that we get to do with each other. Like we did our first annual Flowertown Fling last year, and we did it at Rollins Edwards Community Center. And she hosted that for us. It was a beautiful space. Been able to partner with her. With the sports complex, it's kind of the same thing. We're partnering with the county, but we're obviously town residents are going to come to it, and we want to be able to support. It's not about we don't want to be a competitor. We want to work together with each other to provide the most opportunities for kids and families. And so if we can just add to what Amy's already doing and support what she's doing, we just think that's going to be great all around.
I want to dig back a little bit. The YMCA, you guys are so busy. You host a ton of other events outside of the Flowertown Festival, and I encourage you. Link to bottom in the episode, you'll find their webpage. Go check out some of the events that they host. I mean, you guys host a ton, and they're all fantastic. And I encourage you to check them out and go. But what goes into those events is volunteers. All right, and so the Y puts a strong emphasis on volunteerism. Can you dig into some of the things that you guys do or something that the community can do to help bring more volunteers to the YMCA?
Yeah, so we have 3 pillars at the YMCA: youth development, health and wellness, and social responsibility. So our social responsibility pillar really focuses on that volunteerism aspect of what we do. We have a arm of our YMCA called Togetherhood, where it started out as a bed project. So we go to low-income housing and build beds for residents who kids may not have a bed.
That's amazing.
Families may not have a place for them to sleep. The parents have, put the kids in a bed, but they're sleeping on the floor. So we partner with them, do it twice a year. We've started expanding that. So we've been working with the Low Country Food Bank. Our Oak Brook facility is actually a food distribution point in Summerville, but we've taken a bigger role with them to go to their facilities in North Charleston to do different things with them. This past week, we worked with Dorchester Paws. We're going to try to expand what we're doing on a greater level. But anybody who wants to be a volunteer can always come to one of our branches, visit our website, and take advantage of those different opportunities that we have. One cool thing that we have this Saturday is the Shamrock Shuffle.
Yes.
And it's a fun run, 5K and a 10K.
Yes.
And then afterwards, we partnered with Steve over at Dream to do Shamrocking on the Square. So one of the things we've talked about for a couple of years is, hey, we finished the race about 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Columbia, Savannah, they have really awesome St. Patrick's Day celebrations.
Yeah.
We're just as cool as they are.
Yeah.
Why don't we have one too? So Steve was like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
So as soon as we're finished, we're gonna push everybody over to the square because we're only one block removed from the square.
Yep.
Partner with Frothy. They're doing anything that you purchase from Frothy is going to go back towards our playground here for our children
I love
here on
that.
the campus.
I love that.
So we're partnering with a bunch of different folks just to make it a really cool Saturday. So come on down Saturday, downtown Summerville, and just enjoy yourself.
I love that. That's so cool. And definitely, come check that out. That, St. Patrick's Day weekend is always so much fun, and it's great when you can have the community come together and enjoy it together. Speaking on volunteerism, do you have a story that you can kind of highlight on how volunteering can really impact just the person volunteering, but others who you're helping by volunteering?
Yeah. So Christ calls us to serve our fellow man, and one of the things that has always struck me is there's a verse where Paul's talking about these good things that God created for us to step into at the beginning of time. So like, Chris, you have good things that the Lord has gifted you to be able to step into. He's done that same thing for me. So as we live our lives, if we're listening to his voice, there's going to be so many good things that we have the ability to do. We're not to shrink back from those things. So volunteering to me is stepping into those good works that have been planned out for us. I've always wanted to bring my kids along. So my kids have volunteered to work at the Polish for me. They volunteered to work here at the festival and the Shamrock Shuffle and the youth triathlon. And so being able to get them involved and see that this poor boy who grew up in Florence, South Carolina on a farm, who didn't have anything, who's able to step in and associate or be connected to people who grew up the same type of way to help lift everybody up, to me just kind of encapsulates everything that we're talking about at the YMCA.
I love that. I love that. And again, in the bio of the podcast and this episode, we'll link to where you guys talk a little bit more about volunteerism, and I'm sure their team is happy to talk to anyone who's interested in volunteering, because there's plenty of opportunities. I know that for sure.
Just think about, like, you go to Habitat for Humanity and build a house, right?
Yep.
So there's some of our board members who are on Habitat's board, or some people who work out in this gym, like Sandy O'Keefe. She has done a fantastic job of volunteering. And when you see the look on somebody's face when you've built that house and now you're turning the keys over, right? Or Beyond Basic down the street. My wife works there, and being able to work with her teammates and get them to go into the community and actually get a job. We have a couple that work here. I mean, just to see when my wife comes home and sees all the work that she's done. It's been hard work all day long, but then be able to see a teammate be able to go, you know what? I learned this, this, and this, and I want to do this.
I love that.
That's just our community. This community is just so awesome.
Yep, I completely agree. And everyone is so willing to help one another and really come together to help others and to evolve our community as a whole in the town. Taking it back to some of the, when folks think about the YMCA, they obviously think about health and wellness. Like, that's the first thing usually that comes to someone's, there's a gym and you get to work out and all that fun stuff. You guys have a strong emphasis on health and wellness. What are some things that are offered here at the Summerville Family YMCA that really helps push health and wellness?
Yeah, so we have, obviously, our gym.
Yeah.
People know about. Last night particularly, it was super crowded, which was cool, but my buddy and I were like, where are we going to work out?
Yeah.
But we also have this whole community outreach arm, community health arm. So you don't have to be a member to participate in some of these programs. We brought our Live Strong program back, which is cancer survivors. So
I love that.
It actually meets in this room where we're at right now. They get together, they build a community amongst themselves. Then they go downstairs, work out on certain pieces of equipment. So it's not just a support group where we sit around and talk. It is that, which is super important to have that community amongst each other. But then they go and work out together. And then there's this whole graduation period. It's super cool.
That's amazing.
We also have our DPP program, which is diabetes prevention. That, if anyone is on the borderline of having diabetes, this program will help you go through the process of, I don't want to be diabetic. What are the steps that I can do to stop from going down that road? That's free to our community. We've been doing some stuff in St. George with our Walk with Ease for arthritis and elderly folks. So it runs the whole, and our Splash into Safety.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't mention that, but that is a program that we've partnered with Pam over at the County Parks and Rec Commission and Kelly Bowen over at Summerville Medical. So the three of us have partnered together to have the Splash into Safety program. Along with Chris Myers from Colleton County. We've used Chris's portable pool in Colleton. We did 2 weeks in Walterboro, 2 weeks in St. George. That portable pool allows us for $5 a week, have these kids go through this program. They learn if they fall into water, what to do, how to swim, how not to drown. And it takes them and their parents through this program so that we had about 350 some odd children go through this program.
that's amazing.
And it just continues to educate them on how to be safe around water.
I love that. And the thing about health and wellness is it is very diverse. It's not just going and working on the equipment and working out, but it's mental health, it's prevention, it's just community, having a community to just talk to and build that. So health and wellness is very wide. And so it's really cool to hear about how the YMCA is diverse within their health and wellness. For anyone in the community who's interested in learning more about that, where can they go to find that information?
Yeah, you can also go to our website. We
Great.
have all that information on there as well.
Great. I love that. We dug into this a little bit, just about community involvement and, what kind of other community involvement initiatives do you guys run within the YMCA?
I'm assuming you mean like what other partners we might have.
Yeah.
One of our biggest ones is Beyond Basic, like I mentioned before. Every day of the week, the teammates come to either our downtown facility or the Ponds facility. They go through classes here, job training skills. They do water aerobics. So there's something every single day that we're pulling them in to our YMCA and making them feel a part of the community instead of a group of folks who are just kind of on the fringe. Because the whole point of Beyond Basic story is being able to take these teammates and get them job or work skills so that they can function in society independently.
Yeah.
This was, my wife actually left the YMCA to go work for that organization.
Oh.
So they really have a true heart for the different things that we're not doing at the YMCA, but that this group, Molly and Ashton, have been doing. So when we get into situations like that, we may not do that, but we want to support an organization that does that. Dorchester Children's Advocacy. We support them on different initiatives. Ashley, our development director, works with the DD2 Foundation, so we're partnering with the schools. We've been going to a ton of school events at night. We partner with Steve over at Dream. So we're trying to do every little thing that we can, that if we don't do that thing particularly, we're not going to recreate the wheel. We're going to support the organization that does that. Same thing with Public Works Arts Center. I mean, there's so many great organizations right here in Summerville that we've been trying to partner with to give them a bigger voice. So they're promoting all their things, but we want to do it from all the partners that we deal with, promote that voice as well.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. And partnership is always important, and being able to work with one another and be a team at the end of the day, I think is something that really benefits the community at the end of the day, is working with each other. Speaking, we're in 2024 now. Obviously you guys are up to a lot. You guys are doing a ton of stuff. But there's challenges that I'm sure y'all face. What are some of the challenges that maybe you guys are facing, and maybe something the community can help with, and some maybe upcoming challenges that you are maybe wondering could be? I just want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So the challenges we probably experience the biggest are getting what we do out to the community.
Yes.
I think we've been an organization for a very long time who doesn't promote our message very well. we like to do what we do in secret and not have a big ego about it, but just do our good work.
Hmm.
But if you don't tell anybody, how will they know? So now we're trying to take a little twist on that and try to get that message out like, hey, come along, partner side alongside with us so that we can tell you all the things that we can offer you instead of turning it into a, hey, this is what you can do for me, but here are all the things that we can offer the community and try to do a little bit more communication on that side of things.
Yeah, and I think being able to market yourselves is always one of the biggest challenges for any type of when it comes to an organization, a business, small businesses, big businesses. And I think marketing and communication is something that is always changing as well, right? There's different ways to market to the community and to really reach the community. And so I think you guys are doing a great job. I see all the stuff you guys are pushing out, and we do our best to also share what you guys are up to as well. And I think when it comes to that and the growth of that, you know, doing stuff like the podcast, like doing stuff like this, and but also just networking and going out and speaking with people, and that starts with really honestly some of the people who work out here, who volunteer here, right? And those are your biggest networkers,
Yeah.
and so and they're proud of it, and so I think in our town, I think you guys are set up perfectly for natural, word of mouth marketing versus maybe other YMCA's across the country. So that's really good. You know, to take this back a little bit, and I just want to talk about, we'll go back to your time here, and just kind of dig into some of your personal reflections. So far within your role, what is something that you would say is probably the most rewarding part of your role? Maybe a situation, or maybe just overall as a whole.
Being able to kind of pull back 10,000 foot level and get to see kids playing, members creating the team to run the Shamrock Shuffle together, young men and women who are coming in as teenagers into this organization. Last night I was at the front desk and they were all talking about, hey, our team's getting together, we're going to run. I don't know, I don't feel good about this, but we're going to still do it. Being able to see the community that grows from all of those people's backgrounds and their walks of life, and to see them pull together and come to a place where they can feel open, work out together. They didn't know each other prior to being here. Now they know each other. Go into our Oprah facility, seeing kids play with each other. I play adult sports out there as well. And the camaraderie that we have on our team, we have town employees, county employees, business people, and just getting together afterwards at Dog and Duck and chilling out. And I think just the whole community aspect, kind of what you were talking about a second ago, just enjoying the place where we get to live, work, and play is really a blessing.
That's amazing. I love that. And I think that's one of the most important things about, I think, any role, but your role, and particularly in the YMCA as a whole, is it's bringing the community together. Our community is so diverse, and being able to bring everyone together and find a common ground and to really just have fun and enjoy each other's presence and enhance our health and wellness, but also just our personal lives, and then also enhancing the community, because those connections can build into something greater. Maybe it's a small business that someone comes up with that really enhances our community, or maybe it's an idea for a new event that ends up being a huge, awesome event 15 years down the line, right? Those are things that happen, that start when you meet someone, just working out or at an event, volunteering together, right? And so being able to offer that is something that, I think you guys should give a pat on your back for, because it's great things, and the relationships that are built will bring great things if they're not already great. So that's awesome. Now, to bring this train home a little bit, talking about the YMCA, and we talked a little bit about the past, future, all that fun stuff. What are some upcoming projects and things that some of the community can look forward to?
So one of the things is that Oprah Sports Complex. we're really wanting to break ground, hopefully in late spring, early summer, on that complex
Of this year?
of this year. And we're just waiting on a couple of things to kind of fall in place. But
Of course.
deal's been inked. We're ready to go. We're looking forward to what that can bring to our community. And like I said, with the Oak Brook piece, which is only, again, a 5K from here, you can start at the trail at Sawmill Branch, almost from this YMCA, and ride your bike or run or walk to that facility.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. And being able to tie in all the different trail systems throughout Summerville, through the town and the county piece, working together with them, bringing that town, state, county park, library, the recreational complex all together gives people within our community, you don't have to drive very far to get all those opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can come downtown, enjoy that, go to Oak Brook, enjoy that. Some other stuff that we were really looking forward to doing is really kind of enhancing some of our programs, being able to provide more to our members. We're always looking at our branch managers here in this building and at the ponds. Both those ladies are always looking at how can we involve the community more. Or we have these business partners. What can we do to enhance their experience and draw them closer into community with each other?
I love that. I love that. And it like I said earlier, it comes to being a team with each other, right? And working together as a team. And that's really cool. I'm excited to watch you guys continue to grow. Within my role as a PIO for the town, it's, if you guys communicate something, it's my job to make sure the community knows about it too, right? So I'm excited to watch you guys grow because I'm watching everything y'all are doing, if not attending, because I love the events you guys put on. Now, before we end the podcast, I do ask this question every podcast. So it's your turn. You top 3 restaurants here in the town of Summerville.
Do they have to exist still, or could they have been historic?
I don't know if I had that question before. No, they don't have to exist.
My favorite restaurant that used to be here was the Greek restaurant where Sweetwater 123 is right now.
Okay, I've never been there.
It was a while back. That place was legit.
Yeah?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure you're going to get a ton of people also saying the same thing. So
it was amazing. The owner would come in and play piano. You have a nice glass of wine. Oh, it was great.
I love that.
And then Phillies used to be amazing too, but then they closed this.
I know. I love Phillies. I love Phillies.
Those are my 2 favorite places. Currently, does it have to be just food related?
No, let's see what you got.
All right, the Azalea Will is a good friend of mine. That place it could compete with any place downtown Charleston. It's amazing. I have not been to Bexley. My wife's not a meat eater, so we haven't gone there, but everybody has talked about it.
Yeah.
And it just said it's top notch.
Yeah. I think it was some great choices, and we have such good food.
We do. I think on any given day for lunch, Eclectic Chef is probably my spot. I
go there a lot too for lunch, and sometimes I'll just, I had to stop because I was spending way too much money eating out for lunch.
Rocky's pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, they have some great stuff there too. Yeah. But even just the hot dogs right up the road there are fantastic, and
if you want to go to a place to meet everybody in Summerville, Coastal.
Yeah,
Brad's got it going on.
That's true. That's the community hub, really.
When Mayor Myers was still the mayor, he would hit Eva's. Eva's was that hub, and that was where everybody met to do any business deal in Summerville. Now it's down the street at Coastal.
I know. Even we have Coffee with a Cop coming up on the 20th, and that's where we're hosting it, is at Coastal, and it's just because it really is the community hub. But yeah, no, Mr. Debney, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate us being able to finally get together and kind of just talk shop about what the YMCA, what you guys got going on, and how the community can help, but also learn more. But that said, do you have anything else for the sake of the conversation that you would like to add?
Just that I am so impressed with all the things that you brought to the town of Summerville.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Like when y'all announced the drone program, I mean, it's just amazing all the things that you have brought, just raising the marketing level for the town of Summerville. showcasing what we all knew to be awesome, but getting the word out there.
It needed to happen. And when I came in my role, I will say I've been sleep has been hasn't been as common as usual in the past, but I wouldn't change it for the world because Summerville has a ton of great things going on here, and we need that. We need the community to know about
Yeah,
this stuff.
when I left elections, there's a picture on my wall in my office of the city of Charleston, and all of the staff rode around. And when they gave it to me, they said, we know you love Summerville. You talk about it all the time. In fact, one of my board members would always say he would put a tally mark for every time I talked about Summerville or Dorchester County. They said, we know you know where that is, but we don't want you to forget where Charleston is. Yeah. So they knew my heart was here in Summerville.
I love that. But no, I appreciate the kind words. I think we just got a lot going on, and the best way for us to really be successful is for people to know about it, right? And so, no, thank you so much for taking your time to meet with me today. We're really excited about some of the things that they're doing. So please go check out their website. It'll be linked below. Go see what they have going on. Mark your calendar, show up, volunteer, get involved, come work out. There's a lot of great things going on. So with that said, thank you so much. And until next time.